Alright, so here's the problem. I was bending these sides for a guitar build and it cracked. Okay, so you can see the crack here. All this dark is just some super glue that I poured down into the crack to try to save it. But what happened was it's too thick to bend. Whenever I was thinning down the sides, I stopped too thick. I should have consulted my notes. It's a beginner's mistake, okay? This is only my fourth guitar build, and on the first three guitars, I bent the sides at about 2 millimeters thick. I stopped at 2.5 millimeters and then tried to bend it, which is why I have this crack. In my mind, immediately I thought, the project is lost. I'm gonna have to buy another back and side set and try again. But somebody on Instagram made a comment to flatten it out and try again. And in my head, I thought, can you do that? So I'm thinking, if you can bend wood, I guess you can unbend wood. So my goal today is to see if that's going to work. I'm going to try to unbend this side, thin it down a little bit more, and then rebend it and see if I can save this project, okay? I don't know if this is going to work. I'm really nervous to try it, but I've got my side bender set up here, and it is pretty hot. Just about to the temperature it needs to be. So come on in and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Here's my thinking, okay? So here's the waist. I want to bend this flat, and I want to rebend it. But instead of having the waist here, I'm going to rotate the wood around when I lay out for it, and I'm going to have the waist over here. So that, you know, this wood here is undamaged. So I'm not too concerned about bending it in some glue coming undone. I'm afraid that this part will melt the glue and it will come undone and crack again. So I'm going to move the waist over here. I'll have to do the same thing in this other side because they're already book matched and I've already jointed the edge. So I want to keep that flat edge. I'll just have to rotate the wood around. So I guess we can start. We'll start on this big curve. Go ahead and wet both sides just in case. Now I bent the sides of my first guitar by hand, but I really haven't bent anything since then. So all I know to do was just heat it up. It's not even starting to unbend. It doesn't appear to be anyway. I am a little bit concerned of it coming unbent and then trying to send it through the drum sander. If there's any undulations in it, as it's passing through the feed rollers, could it come up and, you know, hit the sandpaper and make it too thin in some spots? I'm concerned about that. Let me go ahead and work on this for a little while, and let me get this side unbent if I can, and I'll come back to you, let you know how it's working out. All right. All right. This is all I can get out of it using the hand bender. Okay. I don't feel comfortable pushing anymore. So and then it's kind of thick trying to bend it, even on the hand bender, and the temperature is only localized right there where the metal is. So trying to keep the whole thing hot and trying to squeeze it out. And trying to unbend the waist was a little sketchy, and actually I heard a pop right here on the very top. I guess I pushed a little hard, so I put more super glue. You can see I've got this whole region covered with super glue. I've got the camera pointed too far down. So I've got a crazy idea to get it the rest of the way. I don't know if it's going to work out, but it popped in my head to try it. I'm going to give it a shot. Let me get set up. I've got my side bender here, and I'm not going to use it to bend sides. I've got my silicone heating blanket. You probably already figured it out. I've got this line here. I am going to just put this blanket on top of it, heat it up. When it gets about to the temperature that I usually bend at, I'll start pressing down on it. Am I stupid? We're about to find out. So I got some foil here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this side up. Here we go. Heat on. Let's go ahead and put this on here so I can know about how hot it is. So let's let it climb up, and then we'll we'll see what happens. I should start hearing the water. Oh yeah, I hear it cooking. So I'll push down right there. Push down right there. Just gonna hold it here for a second. Got this pressed all the way down almost. Just about right here. Oh, I got a 2x4 that's gonna take up the whole width of it. Check this out. This is getting stupider and stupider by the minute. Should have planned this ahead. I'm kind of playing by ear. I didn't know I was going to clamp it. I didn't know I was going to clamp it. I don't want to burn myself either. Alright. Let's turn it down some. Let it sit. I'll let it sit for about 5-10 minutes at a lower temp, and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll let it be careful where I place my hand, and then I'll let it cool down, and I'll come check on it after that. I feel better about this than I do with the hand bender, I do have to say. Alright, it's been an hour and a half. It's cooled down completely, so now we get to find out if magic happened. Oh, hey, I'll tell you what, look at this. Look at that. It's almost all the way straightened out except for where the waist was. I don't know if I can save this thing or not. Really, honestly, I mean, at this point it's more just an experiment to see what would happen. Can't believe it. Alright, so the question I got in my head now is, what would happen if I did try to run it through my drum sander? Could the feed roller hold it down flat enough to get it evenly flat, or will the parts that are kind of bowed up kind of hit the sanding drum? I don't know. There's only one way to find out, right? Let's do it. Okay, so obviously it's only sanding in certain spots. So, for example, here, this is already close, just over 2 millimeters. So I can't really do any more on the drum sander. Flipped it over, and I got a couple of spots where it's hitting. So these are getting thinner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my orbital sander, random orbital sander, and just try to focus on these spots that I hadn't touched as much as I can. Maybe, and then maybe scrape it and see if I can get the rest of it down to about 2 millimeters. For my first guitar, I used only scrapers and got the whole way down like that. So let me show you though. You can see the cracks from the bending machine, all those dark spots. I guess that's where the super glue is kind of holding those grains together, or it stained the end grains, I guess, a little bit. I mean, it's solid, but it's just being held together by super glue. This all may be in vain. It's not a, I mean, obviously I wouldn't make a guitar for a client or something like this. It's just become completely an experiment to see if I can just, you know, pull this out and make it work. This is going to be an experimental guitar build anyway. You can watch some other videos on my YouTube channel to hear about why. Alright, so it's the next day, and what I did after that last clip was I took the scraper and I scraped it down to thickness. The sanding was not working, so I spent a little while last night and then again this morning scraping it down to where it needs to be, and I went ahead and put it in the bender. I forgot to record any scraping, but I think you can imagine that in your own mind what I was doing. But like I said, I repositioned the waist away from where it cracked, so I made the waist go about right here, and the other side that was still good is the waist now. So I hope it turned out okay, so let's go ahead and get it out and look at it. So I'm gonna get this out of here and then we'll go in the other room and look at it. Right. It looks like it held its shape more than the last ones. Right. Well, there's no cracking on the waist, which is excellent. As you can see, came out looking pretty good. So, like I said, this was the old waist right here. So you can see the old cracks. It's wanting to buckle a little bit, I'm not going to lie. It is kind of buckled. I'm a little sketchy about using it straight off. But, I mean, it can be done. I guess I answered the question that yes, you can unbend some sides and then rebend them. Well, let's at least see if we can get it in the mold. When I tried to put the old one in the mold, it would not go all the way up here. I had a good gap about this much. It would not close up. It was really stiff. Alright, so at the end of the day, I'm satisfied that I know the answer to the question. Yes, you can unbend sides that are already bent and then rebend them. The problem I have is just the crack that was there. Although it's still together, I'm a little concerned about it. So, will I use these sides? I'm not sure. I don't know if I will. This crack has got me a little iffy. I've already got some ideas of things I can do. The end goal for me was to be able to use these sides. Maybe I didn't achieve that, but at least I know. And you know from watching this, if you didn't know before, that you can unbend sides and bend the back. So this is only my 4th guitar, so I'm still a beginner. So a lot of the stuff some of you more experienced luthiers may have already known. I didn't. Somebody made the suggestion to me in Instagram, and I decided to go ahead and try it. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, my name is here on the screen. I post a lot of behind the scenes and update pictures of my guitar building if you want to follow me there. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.